Coming to you live from the rinks in Oppog, you're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. Alongside cameraman Johnny Malizia, I'm Ryan Brannigan, and a marquee varsity matchup is upon us. Two teams with title aspirations, Sachem taking on St. Anthony's Friars. Not much more to say between these two heated rivals. A rematch of the Suffolk County semifinal a season ago. The Friars winning it in a shootout to advance to the finals. Heartbreaking loss for Sachem. They had a chance to take revenge against St. Anthony's earlier this year. However, they were unsuccessful. The Friars winning that game 4-2. 4 goals, all for Tommy Azzariti in that game. He was electric en route to a 4-2 victory for the Friars. CJ Pena and Roman Cruz, the other goal scorers for Sachem. It was 4-2 going into the third, and the Friars locked it down, not allowing another goal the rest of the way. Jordan Valsic, the winning goaltender, in net for the Friars in that one. And Anthony Mare picked up the loss for Sachem. Sachem coming off a tough loss against Smithtown Hauppauge, who are currently in the third period of a matchup against KPC on senior night for them. The Bulls a 2-0 lead over the Knights. And it is those Smithtown Hauppauge Bulls currently in first place in the varsity standings, 2 points clear of second place St. Anthony's. The Friars with a game in hand. Depending on what happens in that Smithtown Hauppauge KPC game, they can find themselves in first place at the end of the night. Sachem just 2 points clear of Northport Huntington in fourth place, and the Tigers, they have a game in hand on Sachem, who are 2 points behind. Sachem would ideally like to get away from a first round matchup against Northport Huntington, who are an excellent team in their own right, currently occupying fifth place. That would set them up with a matchup against KPC in the first round if the playoffs were to start today, because yeah, it's playoff talk time. We're getting down to the wire in the varsity season. Starting goaltenders tonight will be Michael DiGirolamo, gets his second straight start. He was the starting goaltender against Smithtown Hauppauge yesterday. And Jordan Valsic getting the nod for the Friars. In terms of players to keep an eye out on, obviously Tommy Azzariti, 20 goals in 13 games played for the Friars, leading them in scoring as well as total points with 29. And as I previously mentioned, 4 goals against Sachem in their first matchup of the year. Zach Sorrell having an excellent season as well. His second year with the varsity team, 21 points in 12 games played. And Anthony Catallo, who had a magical 5-goal game in that semifinal against Sachem, 9 goals, 9 assists, 18 points in 8 games played this year for Catallo. Anthony Sorrentino, also worth noting, leading the Friars in assists with 13. Second place on the Friars in assists is Ryan Riggins, who was great in that first matchup against Sachem. Sachem, they have the leading scorer in all of the varsity division. That is Cam Calver with 44 points in 15 games played. They'll need him to be on his A game if they want to get a win against St. Anthony. And that's what Sachem really need, is a win against one of these big boy teams. They have yet to beat St. Anthony or Smithtown Hauppauge yet this year. would be quite the confidence booster. Early chance they score. Catallo seconds in. Roofs it by DiGirolamo. And I only get the celebration. That's how fast it happened. St. Anthony's waste time and all getting on the board early. 1-0 over Sachem. Blink and you missed it. Hope you were here on time. Catallo's 10th of the year. Sorrell gets the assist. A goal that comes just 11 seconds into the contest. Sachem send in. Looking to get a response. Quickly rolls back to Catallo. Catallo lets one fly, and DiGirolamo there to make the save on his second shot faced. 28 seconds in. 2 shots then faced by DiGirolamo. Early jump for the Friars. Catallo sends that one wide. Going in to chase the loose puck was Sorrell, and now, or here is Sorrell, rather that was Azaridi. Comes to neutral ice, and great defense there from Stiuso. Rather that was Budicavoli. Comes on back to Azaridi. Sends in wide of DiGirolamo. Pena wheels around the net. Pena scored a big goal last night against Smithtown. Hauppauge rumbles into the zone. Drops, hoping for Stoltenberg. Lifted by the forechecking Stoltenberg. And on to the stick of Ryan Riggins. Riggins called for an offsides. And he will fall to the ice in dramatic fashion. 13:41 remaining in this first period. Anthony Catallo continues to be a living nightmare for Sachem. Busa hammers in. DiGirolamo stops it up. Thrown right into the slot area. Nobody home but a giveaway. Friars back on it. Sorrentino trying to go to the point. Lifted ahead for Saguna. Saguna one-on-one. Can be joined by Anderson. Waits, and Anderson just overskated. Had to try to take it on the backhand. Busa plays it ahead for Riggins. Riggins, good poke that time for the Sachem defender, Caden Marcus. And Tyler Anderson sends in for the charcoal and gold. Tyler Anderson. Marcus. Wrist shot blocked right off the shin guard of Ryan Riggins, who tries to get north. Battling back to the puck, Caden Marcus sends Riggins to the ice. John Moody. 12:40 to go first period. Simone backhands one in the area of Anderson. That's Budicavoli for St. Anne's. Off the high glass, out of play. Broken stick there for Ben Karaher. He'll skate to the bench for a new one, and look like a delayed penalty. Interference call. And so the Friars will go to the power play as Justin Horman heads to the penalty box. Continuing a disastrous start to the game for Sachem. So the Friar power play gets its first look of the game. Says they have an 83.3 percentage on the power play. Take that with a grain of salt. Not sure when these stats are tracked. But needless to say, a dangerous power play unit for the Friars. They work it around the horn. Seam pass. Catching it on the backhand that time was Zach Sorrell, and Sachem able to clear off the mishandle. Valsic stops it in behind for Kanza. Kanza underneath the stick of Azaridi. Busa leads Catallo. Gonzalo absorbs a hit from Roman Cruz. Gets it down low to his teammate Zach Sorrell. Sorrell battling Cruz near corner. Worked free to Gonzalo. Wheeling shot deflects wide. Busa in behind. Minute to go on the Friar penalty. Cruz lifts the stick, gets it ahead. Great player Roman Cruz. Kalber short-handed. Chance here for Cam Kalber to the forehand. Shut down by Valsic. Rebound, and Valsic I think got a piece of that as well. Now the other way. Tommy Ezeridi. Shot, pad save made by DiGirolamo. Back and forth they go. Wide open action here to start. Another odd man rush short-handed. Simone rumbles in to join the 2-on-1. A shot blockered away by Valsic. Off the stick of James Drago. Pena flings it right back down ice. 25 seconds left on the Horman minor for interference. Christian Budicavoli in the zone. Around Saguna. Around the Sachem net, Budicavoli. Up top, settled by Stiuso. Leo Stiuso, shot blocked by his teammate Sorrentino, who wrists one off of DiGirolamo. Penalty has expired. Team's back to full strength. Strong kill for Sachem. Got a couple of looks short-handed as well. Much needed after allowing the early goal. Lorette, who had a fantastic game, I thought, against Smithtown Hauppauge just a night ago. Dangerous pass, nearly picked off by Saguna, but did get over to Stiuso, who dumps in. DiGirolamo out to stop it. Keeps it moving around to the near side. And now Sachem with numbers the other way. Saguna with Saunders. Saguna, head fake, shot at blocker, save made by Valsic. Now the other way, it's Ryan Riggins. Riggins drag, shot, deflects up and into the netting, out of play. Back and forth they go. It's a track meet to start. Totally different tempo than what we saw between Smithtown Hauppauge and Sachem a night ago, which was more or less a chess match. Essentially a 3-1 game with an empty netter, made it 4-1 for the Bulls. In that victory, thrown across, nobody home. Trapani off the ricochet. As Wanling speeding in. Trapani stood up at the line. Great defensive play. Made that time by Justin Norris. And the Friars just a step ahead on the dump in, are called for offsides. I think I should get on the treadmill to try to keep up with this game right now. And keep your head on a swivel. Delayed penalty, actually. The result of this, as Tartaglia's in the box. Caught up on the call. It's a hooking penalty assessed to Tartaglia, so Sachem will get their first look on the power play. Down a goal. Quick clear and 2-on-2 up ice. In with speed is Ezeridi. Ezeridi still with possession of the puck. Tommy Ezeridi backhands it into the corner. Great penalty killing for the Friars forward. Already 30 seconds gone by on the Tartaglia minor. And continuing to battle down low, Tommy Ezeridi, have yourself a shift. Drago finally possessing for Sachem. Reverses to Lorette. Sachem struggling to just establish the zone at this point. They can't even get out of their own. Pena hits the red line, dumps in. Saunders, the F1, in after Valsic. Flings it around. Pena at the far blue, shot blocked down in front. Not out. Right to Wanling, who drags. Wanling, shot, save made Valsic. Rebound in behind Drago, out in front. Pena drive, kicked away. Rebound Lorette. Wrist shot through traffic, never got through. And establishing control, Kanza clears for the Friars. Finally, Sachem established the zone, get a couple of good looks on the power play. 33 seconds left. on the aforementioned Sachem man advantage. Giveaway. Sorrell stepped away by DiGirolamo. Trying to lift it ahead to Saguna. It was behind him, and Catalo touches up, but I believe they're going to grab a hand pass here against St. Anthony's. "15 seconds remain on the power play for Sachem." No. Yes. Oh, what am I saying? Face-off just outside the Friars' end. Galber is being removed from the face-off dot, so Tyler Anderson to step in to take the draw from Sorrentino. A stalemate of a face-off, eventually poked into the Friars' end. Saguna goes back to get his stick. Then ahead for Langiel. In the body of Tyler Anderson. Kanza steps in. Kanza shot off the glove of DiGirolamo. Roman Cruz to himself to avoid the aggressive forecheck of Sorrentino. Sends up ice. Calber. Tyler Anderson to himself into the zone. Tyler Anderson. Saguna in front. Saguna try to rifle it across to Calber, getting the sticks in the lane in the Friars. Cruz, long shot from the point. Missed it by a country mile over the net. Roman Cruz tracking back to it. Langiel. Saguna back to Cruz. Roman Cruz, mentioned he scored in that first game against the Friars. That was a short-handed goal. Drago keeps in. Drago scores! And Sachem tied at 1. Off the stick of James Drago. And a game of inches, just able to hold in the zone and makes the Friars pay. Beats Valsic glove side. And we've got ourselves a tie ball game. Of course, there's no ball in hockey, but ball game nonetheless. You know what I'm saying. Drago. Well, Sachem sees momentum following the equalizing goal. Stoltenberg trying to do just that in the offensive zone on the forecheck. Rolls near side over the stick of Karaher, held in by Caden Marcus. Drago after the loose puck, gets to it. Keeps the cycle moving, down low to Stoltenberg with Saunders there as well. Mishandles, and that allows the Friars to clear the zone in quick succession. Deflected in by Karaher. Out to stop it was DiGirolamo. Sends ahead. Here's Stoltenberg in with speed. Stoltenberg to Drago. Drags. Drago knifed away. Good defensive play by Carrasco Jr. Drago. Here's Stoltenberg. Out of the zone. Drago. Cross corner, Moody. Sends around for Sachem. Loose puck. Nearly a disaster. Great stick in there for Marcus. Still settled here by Tartaglia. That shot. Not sure if it ever got through to DiGirolamo, that or he made the stop. Out in front, Moody. Again, fire wagon pace to start this game. Up and down the sheet they go. Valsic stopped it. Saunders just out of his reach. Unable to clear the zone. Dan Smith, as Tyler Anderson has the puck. Good pass in the slot. Anderson save, rebound, score! Dylan Simone and Sachem take the lead 2-1. Couple of great passes set up this goal for Sachem as they enter the zone. Looks harmless enough. All 5 Friars back. Great seam pass there. Shot, save, rebound. Go to the net. Good things happen. And Dylan Simone on the backhand taps in the rebound goal. And Sachem take the lead. Again, the Friars open the scoring just 11 seconds in. Not everyone nearly in their seats at that point. Simone takes the puck, his third of the year. It's a big one for the silver, or rather charcoal and gold, as I was informed yesterday. It's not silver, charcoal. Stabbed out of the zone by Saguna. Catallo right on the shin guards of Simone, and Saguna trying to dissect his way through. Got the shot on goal. Save made Valsic. Here's Catallo one-on-one. Lets it fly, and a glove save made by DiGirolamo on Anthony Catallo. Another look here as I'm joined now by our producer and social media manager, the one and only Gabe Curry. He's got the replay of that chance from Catallo. Fresh off scoring his 10th of the year to start this game. Face off to the right of DiGirolamo. High flip to neutralize. Wandling on his horse. Wandling will get there. Far circle. Wandling. What a move! And he hit the outside of the cage. Wandling in the far corner to Cruz. Cruz survives. Cruz. Shot blocked. Getting in the way, Budakavoli. Trapani at center. Rink wide. Fired in by Lengyel. Miklich. Not out. Held in by Wandling. Miklich will get another go at it. He had hit Ryan Riggins, who mishandled. Now Trapani. Miklich down on one knee. Trapani off his shoulders and deeper into the zone. Stepping up the blue line, Lengyel, he gets beat. Going the other way, Sorrentino. Sorrentino across, and great back check from Lengyel. Puck at the side of the net. Still loose and available. Shot saved. DiGirolamo. Rebound cleared out from in front. And by the stick of Budakavoli. Way out is Valsic. Valsic missed his target, and icing on the Friars. Gotta love the aggression of Jordan Valsic, coming all the way out to the near circle to try to catch Sachem in a change. Much easier to do with the period of the long change, the second. Said, nah, I'm gonna try it in the first. Nearly paid off. Instead, icing. Offensive zone draw, Sachem. Marcus, shot blocked. Control here from Saunders. Saunders, one of the co-MVPs of the All-Star game. He and Valsic. For Team Black, Caden Marcus. For Drago. Tons of All-Star representation between these two sides as that puck ramps off the glass, off the ceiling, I think, and out of play. Or right back down on the ice, but not going to continue playing after it hit the ceiling. 2:19 to go here, first period. Sachem 2-1 lead, 2 unanswered in the first. As Aridi knifing through the defense, never got a shot through to DiGirolamo. On back, keeping in near point, Jake Nichols. Sachem and Drago clear the zone. Drago across, onside play. Stoltenberg, shot blocked. Getting over was Nichols. Now scrum in the far corner. Not a lot of movement going on. Now the puck free. Drago trying to get a touch on it. It's Azaridi. Now joined by Sorrell. Sorrell to Azaridi. Azaridi across. Catallo wasn't quite that far in front of the play. Stoltenberg gives it right back to Catallo. Is it in his equipment? Nevertheless, a stoppage with $1:28 left in the first. Faceoff comes out of the zone. Again, you're listening to LI Sports Network's coverage of the Suffolk County High School Hockey League. Be sure to give us a follow on social media at LI Sports Network, as I'm sitting next to our social media manager himself, Gabe Curry, jumping in to do some emergency production for me. Always appreciated. Puck in behind DiGirolamo. Simone huge goal in the game. Lorette had it stolen away by Busa. Comes out in front. Simone gets to it. Simone to Anderson. Anderson with Saguna. Tries to lead Saguna off the board. Saguna there. Back across. Swung on and missed by Simone. Plays it back down low to Anderson. Return to Simone. Simone trying to go across. Does eventually get to Lorette, who rifled it right off the leg of Ryan Riggins and out of the zone. Sachem put it right back in with 38 to play in the first. Kanza in behind. Chris Kanza through center. Briefly touched Sorrentino. Back for Lorette off the glass. Not out of the zone. Good keep from Kanza. Kanza battling Tyler Anderson. Kanza goes down and poked out of the zone. Onto the stick of Saguna. Saguna one-on-one in the zone. Fanned on the shot and steered to safety by Valsic. Comes right back out in front for Horman. Horman. Quick pass for Calborough to Saguna. Lorette kept in as time expires in period number 1. And I could catch my breath. 2-1 after 1 in favor of Sachem. Anthony Catallo got things started just 11 seconds in to give the Friars the lead, but Sachem, showing resilience, responded with 2, with goals coming from Dylan Simone and James Drago. 2-1 after 1. You're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. Second period set to begin. You're tuned in to LI Sports Network's coverage of the Suffolk County High School Hockey League, and 2 powerhouse teams facing off in their second meeting of the season, Sachem and St. Anthony's. And St. A's 4-2 over Sachem earlier this year. Sachem looking to bounce back from a tough 4-1 loss to Smithtown Hauppauge a night ago, while the Friars with a win, keeping pace with first place Smithtown Hauppauge, who I believe, got to check the score for the result they had against KPC on senior night. And a game called by my buddy Kevin Broderick as Langiel throws one toward Valsic, who denies with the stick. Langiel, great keep. Langiel walks, wrists it toward the net, deflects to the far corner. Trapani to Wanling. Wanling try to return to Trapani behind him. Right on the tape though of Cruz, who lets one fly into the glove of Jordan Valsic. Here's another look. They're gonna try to hit Trapani, goes off a skate right on to Cruz, and Roman Cruz has an absolute wicked wrist shot. Showed it off there, and glove save made Valsic. Face off won cleanly by Sachem. Split the defensive. Out of the zone it comes. Caden Marcus. Off the stick of Drago and into the zone. Saunders giving chase with Budicavoli battling for the Friars. And Christian Budicavoli emerging with the puck on the far side. Sends it through center. Intercepted by Moody. Poked off his stick right onto the tape of Caden Marcus. Stopped up on the backhand by Stoltenberg. Sends it to James Drago. 7-0 the final in that game for Smithtown Hauppauge, by the way. Shutout victory for Jack Pring as well in that one, as they beat one of their rivals in KPC. Sachem send the puck down ice. It'll be an icing against the charcoal and gold. And red. Doesn't have quite the ring to it, though, does it? Once again, I'm Ryan Brannigan, joined to my left by Gabe Takuri, handling board operations, and cameraman Johnny Malizia. Shot, scores! Off the ricochet in front, Zach SCHSHL. We're tied at 2. SCHSHL's 14th of the year comes off a set face-off play, and we saw how important defensive zone draws were just last night. Smithtown Hauppauge winning so many. Point shot gets blocked. Bit of a lucky bounce, but you got to be in the right position. That's exactly where SCHSHL was. Makes no mistake. Beating DiGirolamo up high. Catallo and Azzariti picking up assists. Fired from the neutral zone by Catallo. There's a heat check of a shot from Anthony Catallo. Glove save made. These are all turnover. Catallo is trying to send it across. Went off of Pena in front. Back to Nichols. Nichols shot high off the glass after it took a deflection in front. And Sachem just able to clear the zone. Sandwiched in between two Sachem players. That time for St. A's was Leo Stiuso, and he lost his skate blade, so he can't get off the ice. You see this from time to time. Catallo, meanwhile, left wing side, stops up, turns around, plays it down low, and the official helping Stiuso get off the ice. Meanwhile, offensive zone sequence here. Azzariti, that shot blockered away off the stick of Kanza. Another big hit, this time on Horman. Gillen goes down. That's going to be a tripping penalty. And Sachem will go to their second power play of the evening. Wonder if there is a spare skate blade on the Friar bench, Gabe. It's the first I think I've seen it in the SCHSHL. And you see from time to time those snap-in skate blades. Saw it at Nationals a lot down in Jacksonville. I was between the benches and got to see firsthand the blade get put back on a skate. Tripping penalty assessed to Kanza. Puts Sachem back on the power play, although it's yet to be officially updated in the play-by-play section. Face-off won by the Friars. Puck deflecting up in the air off the stick of Kalber. Kalber sprawling out. Diving effort. Try to keep the play alive. Nonetheless, it's sent down ice by St. A's by virtue of Peter Kelly. Roman Cruz in behind DiGirolamo. Hands off to Trapani. Sachem scored a power play goal. Their only goal of the game last night. It was CJ Pena. Cruz gets knocked down, and Budicavoli flips it down ice. Trapani first on it, being watched by Anthony Sorrentino. Aggressive move there from Sorrentino. Drago with 1 minute and 13 seconds left on the Sachem power play in this 2-2 tie. Simone lost it to Sorrentino, continues to do incredible work. Shorthanded for the Friars. On back to Budicavoli. And the Friars just playing keep away. Killing precious power play time off. They give it away. Kalber, one-touch Drago. Drago drags at the line. Forces Sachem offside. Exactly what you want to do. Stack the blue line and create an offsides. And doing that to perfection, Carrasco Jr. .48 seconds left on the Kanza minor for tripping. I was right. Tyler Anderson, Wanling, and Saunders up front for Sachem. Loose puck. Shot short-handed by Azzariti, blockered aside by DiGirolamo. And a breakout pass intercepted and sent right back down ice by Justin Norris. Tyler Lorette in the skates of Pena. Stiuso up the far boards. Loretta cross, too slow for Saunders, intercepted by Justin Norris. And just 10 seconds remain on the Sachem power play. That has generated virtually nothing offensively to this point. 2 seconds and one, we're back to even straight. Saunders, wrist shot, glove save, Varsity, and he'll hold. Gotta credit the Fryer penalty kill. Outstanding yet again on their second trip out. On the season, I think it listed their penalty kill at 83%, but again, take that with a grain of salt. Stoltenberg, one of Sachem's best face-off men. There's a backhand shot from Simone out in front, looking for his second. Good save off the shoulder there by a well-positioned Jordan Varsity. John Moody holds in near side. Saguna trying to thrust it ahead instead. Taken back the other way, Tartaglia. His shot or pass blocked by Marcus, who went down to one knee, got the stick down. Moody not able to get there first. Nichols holds in at the far blue line. Marcus engaged in a battle with Dan Smith. Sachem clear the zone, deflected ahead by Simone. Varsity thought about playing it, decides against it. Simone and Budicavoli, and then Smith on it. Back the other way come the Friars. Dylan Schlicht making the jump from the freshman team a season ago to varsity, where he led the freshman team in scoring. Back with it, Sorrell. Sorrell, wraparound attempt, doesn't go. Still in the zone and now comes out. Calber pressuring Zach Sorrell. Friars, after that strong kill, look like they've seized momentum. Tommy Azarizi. Sorrell fires in. DiGirolamo out to stop it. In behind the Sachem net. Friars go for a change. Cade Marcus. Quick pass ahead from Wanling off the boards and down ice. No icing. Plenty of time to play it here for Budicavoli. He tries to bank one ahead. Too far ahead of the outstretched Sorrell. It'll be an icing against St. Anthony's. With 8:43 left in the second, things have slowed down here, Gabe, in the second period. Could notch that treadmill I was on down a few pegs. Calber to take the draw to the left of Varsity. And a switch up of who's going to take the draw for the Friars. In steps Busa. One cleanly by Calber. Cruz, shot blocked. Getting in the lane, Ryan Riggins. Going to go out in front, taken away and skated free by Chris Kanza. Kanza 2-on-2 over the blue. Check to the boards. Great play by Lengyel defensively. Cruz unable to get it by the forechecking Riggins. Cruz, a second attempt now. Has it near side. Riggins doing a great job on the forecheck on Roman Cruz. And the battle continues in the near corner. Works free to the point. Boards. Trapani ahead to Calber. One-on-one. Racing in is Cruz. Calber goes wide. Calber can't get a centering ice feed. Wanling on the forecheck. Takes it away. Back out to Roman Cruz. Wrist shot. Traffic. Knockdown. Back out in front. They score! It's Wanling. Off the ricochet. Sachem lead it 3-2. Such a smart play to get it back to the point here. And then Cruz aiming for the stick of Calber. Might not have got the stick, but hits Calber and off the ricochet into the back of the net. Wanling wearing number 96 for charcoal and gold. Scores his 7th of the year, and it's a big one. Cruz and Calber the assist. And that's such a good play from Calber in the corner. Just wins a 50-50 battle. So much of hockey just ends up boiling down to which team wins more 50-50 battles. Here's another 50-50 battle, also known as a face-off. One in the defensive end by Sachem. Drago deflects ahead. And Sachem offside. It's tumbling down hard to the ice. That time, number 89 in charcoal and gold. That being Logan Stoltenborg. Face-off just outside the Friars' end. Controlled by St. Anne's. Off the glass. And a hand pass whistled as briefly flashing the glove onto the airborne puck was Tommy Azzariti. East Islip and Northport and another marquee matchup in the varsity division looking to get underway shortly on the North Rink. Kevin Broderick on the call for that one. Saunders carries in behind, turnaround shot, save made, rebound. Steered to safety and skated free by Sorrell. Sorrell hits the red line, dumps in. DiGirolamo slows it up for Pena. Pena around Saunders, unable to get there first. Good stick from Catallo. Sorrell gonna get it around to Azzariti. Instead, the puck in the feet. Couldn't find it. Stiuso. Here's Pena. Centers just out of the reach of Stoltenberg, who was checked from behind by Sorrell. Now out in front. Save. Rebound covered by Valsic. And clearing the net front, Leo Stiuso. As on the doorstep, looking for a rebound was Chase Saunders. I mentioned earlier, I alluded to the all-star representation. Might as well go over that now. As Tommy Azzariti, Anthony Sorrentino, Nick Busa, Zach Sorrell, all represented for the Friars in addition to their goaltender Valsic. Saguna. Fan on the shot now, Tyler Anderson. Oh, believe it went off Valsic and out of play. Had the look on the backhand. Off the quick turnaround play in front. 6:20 to go, second period. Looking to extend their lead. Sachem sending Calver, Drago, as well as Caden Marcus, Chase Saunders to the All-Star weekend. Shot from the point, trickles on through. Caught up in behind, Tyler Anderson trying to whack away at it. Friars break out, flip to center. Breezed by the outstretch of Busa, touched by a Sachem. They're going to say Sachem also either got it with a high stick or a glove. They touch up. Play stops. 5:55 to go, second period. It's the charcoal golden red by one. Calver on the assist, his 23rd of the season. He continues to be a difference maker for Sachem. 45th point of the year as well. First in the varsity standings in terms of point production. Anthony Catallo wheels around, still somehow has the puck. Wrist shot from the circle, knocked down out in front and gone wide. Great opportunity for Azzariti. Sachem possessing behind. It's Cruz into neutral ice. Cruz hits the blue and sends in. Joins the forecheck. Horman with a check. Langiel trying to punch it down further. Gillen spun around by Saunders. Loose in front. Cruz couldn't quite pull the trigger. Cruz for Calber. He scores! Cam Calberer, 4-2 Sachem. Here's another look. Great effort from Cruz. Doesn't get the shot off, but sticks with it. Shows so much patience. Waits for Calberer to get into the play. Puts it on a tee on the forehand. And I just mentioned his league-leading 45 points. Make it 46. 23 goals, 23 assists for Cam Calberer. But more importantly, gives Sachem a 4-2 lead. With 5:12 to go in the second. By no stretch of the imagination do I think that that's a game-winning goal. With how much firepower we have on the ice tonight. Pena gave it away. Karaher rockets in, goes wide, shot it wide as well. Budakavoli holds in near point. Shot, it's a Sachem stick, pops into the air, and Pena collects in front. Steers it in behind, up the far boards, on goal. Save DiGirolamo. Drago. Oh, he had Saunders. Varsity out to play it. Banks it in behind as Saunders was bearing down on the Friar netminder. And North with it. Into the zone, Peter Kelly. Karaher into the slot area, Drago. Sachets around Budakavoli. And again, Valsic so poised with the puck, he could play it. Wind up and firing wide there, Karaher. Effectively a dump in. He plays it from in behind the Sachem goal. Carrasco Jr. Stoltenberg able to get it out for Sachem ahead. Here's Saunders. Saunders spinning, waiting for help. He had to slow up, so he had no momentum going in the zone for a potential breakaway. Pena. Check from behind by Carrasco. Got through. Pass across. Calberer couldn't pull the trigger. The net is off. The puck was in the back of the net, and no goal is called. No goal. Gabe, let's get another look. Great play from Pena, inside outside on the backhand, sweeps it across, off a skate, chaos ensues, shot from Calberer, loose. Following up the play, Wanling, and that's where you see that I think the puck goes in. The net had been knocked off, I think, at that point. Effectively ending the scoring chance for Sachem right then and there. Face off to the left of the Friar netminder. One forward by Calberer, off the side of the net. I saw the netting move. I went, oh my, no way, off the face off like that. Turnover, Wanling for Trapani. Just couldn't connect. Banked along for Caden Marcus. Rimmed around, Wanling. Little soccer play there off the boards. Look out, official, as that puck fired off the glass right into the direction of his head. Icing on St. Anthony. East Islip, Northport, Huntington scoreless in the first period over on the North Ring. Ensuing draw controlled by Sachem. Spun across by Wanling. Marcus hustles to get to the loose puck. Stuck in behind the net. Now the Friars break out. Anthony Catallo. Cross ice. As a Reedy shot glove save made by DiGirolamo. Had the angle right on that far circle drive from Tommy Azaridi. 2:47 left here in the second. Sachem just had an offensive zone face-off. Friars get their chance moments later with the O-zone draw. Azaridi fighting for the loose puck, battling Cruz. And Tyler Anderson unable to clear. Simone following up on the loose puck. Skates in. Try to drop it for Cruz, just a little bit behind him. Now Cruz has to get back. Great play by Lengel to slow up the streaking Zach Sorrell. Still able to play one across. Another one on the other end. Tyler Anderson with Simone. 3-on-2 over the blue line. Saguna shot. He was hoping to get it over to Simone. Off the pad, back out the other way. Catallo had it go in front of him. No icing. Catallo hustling to get it before it reached the goal line. Back for Budicavoli. Across. Long shot. Stiuso denied by DiGirolamo. He's got it underneath him. The best of what the Suffolk County High School Hockey League varsity teams have to offer on display here tonight. Sachem and St. Anthony. And this was the semifinal matchup a year ago. One of the best games I've ever witnessed and had the pleasure of calling. The Friars winning it in a shootout after it went the distance. I believe it was 6-5. Catallo with all 5 for the Friars. Try to work it in the zone. They have it. High slot save made. DiGirolamo cleared out to the point. Stiuso try to thread the needle. Goes wide. Sorrentino. Minute 33 to go here in the second. Pena intercepted the pass. Played it to himself off the boards. Pena in with speed. Pena gets the blue. Dumps in. Forecheck. Here for Sachem. Saunders. Drago. Spun it back for Saunders. Out in front. No one home. Pena steps up. Mishandled. Here comes Busa. Busa near circle. A drive and a glove save made by Mikey DiGirolamo. Getting another look at the slot save made by DiGirolamo prior to that last stop. 62 seconds left in the second. 4-2 Sachem lead. Trying to angle one to Gillen. Got by him. Budicavoli, D to D. Leo Stiuso. The junior aisle drops it. Tommy Azaridi maneuvers his way through. Azaridi fed it out in front, and Moody there to break it up. Cam Calberer. A goal and an assist on the most recent Sachem goals. Horman angles it in deep. Out to stop it, Valsic. Moody fighting Catallo to keep in. Great play here from John Moody. 15 seconds to go in the frame. Stiuso rims around. Azaridi into the zone. 4 Sachem players back. Azaridi goes wide, takes a sharp angle shot. It's stopped by DiGirolamo. .2 seconds left. You're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. Be sure to follow us on social media at LI Sports Network. Tons of great stuff on there. Live updates provided by our producer right now, Gabe Takuri. He's a legend around these parts. Nothing occurring in the final 2.2. Couple of mutual jabs between Horman and then Azaridi getting in on it. Certainly some verbal jabs going on down on the ice that I cannot hear and won't repeat likely anyway if I could. Second period in the books. Sachem score twice in the frame. Friars once. Sorrell from Catallo and Azaridi tied it at 2. Wanling from Cruz and Calberer gave Sachem the lead, and Cam Calberer from Cruz and Horman Made it 4-2, and that's your score after 2. You're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. Third period on its way. Served to you on a silver platter. It's coming up hot and ready in about 30 seconds. Welcome back. Sticks are tapping. Fans are clapping. Third period set to begin. St. Anne's and Sachem. Sachem the 2-goal lead. But St. Anthony certainly the firepower to bridge that gap. It's Catalo going to work on Cruz. Cruz lost his stick. Trapani to the line, not out. But able to angle it out of the zone was Wanling. Shot from neutral ice into the chest. Right at the logo of goaltender Mikey DiGirolamo, who covers up. Ozone draw for the Friars. And he'll take it to the left of DiGirolamo. Calberer up against Sorrell. Won by Sorrell to Azaridi. This unit's been on the ice an awful lot. Their best offensive unit, and they're trailing by 2. Makes sense. Bank to the line. Off the shins of Calberer. Racing out is Valsich, and he plays it away from Calberer. Right on the tape of Kanza. Kanza, diving effort from Sorrell. He's shaken up. Holding his jaw or his neck, I'm not sure. Sachem clear to center. Circling back, Chris Kanza. Gave it away to Lengel. Lengel, too far for Drago. Budicavoli. And now, Azaridi, what a move. Azaridi to the backhand. And shutting down the lower part of the net was DiGirolamo. And things starting to get a little testy there out on the ice. Gabe, who's to my left, on producer and social media duty with the dual monitor setup. Ladies and gentlemen, he can do it all. On the cam tonight, Johnny Malizia. But out on the ice, it's been quite a show for the packed house on the south side. For Sachem and St. Anthony. Stoltenberg trying to win it forward, couldn't. Busa on the loose puck. Busa. Far corner. To the point. Wrist shot. Traffic save made. DiGirolamo punches out the rebound. Pena going to work on Busa. Busa prevails. Able to knock it down low. Stoltenberg looking to get a touch. Flips it right back up the far boards. And a great play by Pena. But firing it down ice will be an icing was James Drago. So right back down into the Sachem end, where if you have the 2-goal lead, Gabe, you don't want to be in your defensive end. It's a recipe for disaster. Well, certainly a risky one at the very least. Try to hold the lead, especially against St. Anthony. Trying to win the face-off forward that time was Sorrell. Saguna able to clear the zone. Azaridi connecting with Sorrell. Marcus banks ahead for Sachem. Dylan Simone flips one on goal to Valsich, who makes the stop. Stiuso sends around Moody, working on Catalo. They've been jawing at one another all night, matched up against each other. Tyler Anderson going to work on Nichols in the near corner. Pops free for Sorrell. Pops up high now as Aridi. Simone on him. Simone unable to get a stick on Tommy Azzariti, who sends ahead for Sorrell. Sorrell bearing down on Caden Marcus. Hits the brakes. Sorrell shoved off the puck by the combination of Marcus and Simone, but the puck sent around. Azzariti. And another great play from John Moody. What a game defensively for John Moody. Saguna thought about chasing after it, instead goes for a change. Tyler Anderson takes over as F1. Otherwise, the Sachem forwards in defense in the neutral zone. Catalo again battling Moody. Loose puck trying to get a touch on it. That time Ryan Riggins. Instead, here's Cruz. Streaks up ice. Roman Cruz. To Trapani, he scores! Followed up the play from Roman Cruz, and Sachem, against the flow of play, take a 3-goal lead. And how about the vision from Trapani? Great rush up ice from Cruz. Tries to dangle the defenders, and the puck just somewhere in their feet. No one could kick it out, get a touch on it. Trapani, Johnny on the spot. Blasts it past Valsic, 5-2 the score. And it is likely a huge goal for Sachem. Trapani's 15th of the year. Another assist for Roman Cruz. His third apple of the evening. And Cruz up to 8 assists on the season to go along with 12 points. Face off to the left of DiGirolamo. 11:26 to go, third period. Still plenty of time for St. Anthony's. Miklich flings around. Karaher up top for Kanza. Kanza mishandles. Odd man rush. Cruz with Wandling. 2-on-1, 3-on-1. And play is blown dead. Was it offside? Oh, wow. Offsides on Sachem. Ending a 3-on-1. And coming into this game, St. Anthony's riding a 6-game winning streak and have not lost a game in their last 12. Sachem trying to put an end to both of those streaks as the puck ricochets on to DiGirolamo, out to play it. And now a stoppage. Is the net off its spot? It is. Inadvertently so, as DiGirolamo came out of the net. It gives the Friars an offensive zone draw, and they'll switch up the defense quickly. Stiuso and Budicavoli back out for the white, black, and gold. Stiuso banks it down low. Big hit on Cruz. Dished out that time by Sorrell. Turnover chance goes wide. Lengel trying to hold in, can't. Drago though secures the puck. Bounced over the stick of Lorette. Lorette rims around over the stick of Catalo and out of the zone. Stiuso nearly intercepted by Drago, but got over to Budicavoli, and now Catalo. Far circle drive, what a block! Fearless Tyler Lorette shaking it off, staying out there defensively. And he blocks the pass across as well from Tommy Azzariti. Shot blocked by Lorette. Have yourself a shift, Tyler Lorette. Stiuso try to angle it around. Drago will be the first on it for Sachem. Drago in behind Valsic. Hits Pena. Pena blocked by Kalber, who was on his knees in the slot area. right off the back of the skate blade and out of play. Here it is once more. Dingeruski. Kalber to take the ensuing face-off. To the right of Valsic, won cleanly by Sachem. Moody around past the outstretched stick of Kalber. Carried in behind by the Friars, Sorrentino. John Moody lifted to Pena. Pena deflected on by Kalber into the offensive zone. Budicavoli reversed it, but it's Kalber who's the first on it. Trapani right off the mask. That time of Carrasco Jr. Kalber inadvertently blocked a pass that was headed toward Trapani. Here's Moody, wrist shot, kicked away by Valsic with the right pad. Another shot from Moody off the side of the cage. Wraparound try and miss. And Kalber took it on the back end. No shot could come from Trapani. Good offensive zone time nonetheless for Sachem. 8 minutes, 50 seconds remaining. Budicavoli. 1v5. Able to dump in. Wandling tried to reverse, getting in the way of it was Sorrentino. CJ Pena, far corner. Sorrentino, turnover, and nearly fed it to Tartaglia. Now the puck out of the zone. Another good stick defensively for Sachem. Prevented that pass from getting through to Tartaglia. Pass misfires as Moody tried to hit Simone. It was a little bit behind him. Icing against Sachem with 8:11 to go in the third period. It's the Sachem Hockey Club with the 3-goal lead over St. Anthony's Friars. And the Catallo, Sorrell, Azaridi line back out. Miklich and Kanza at the points. Good keep by Miklich. Goes wide. Sharp angle try from Sorrell off the side of the net. Miklich. Back down the boards. Catallo. Anthony Catallo. Shielded off by Saguna. High flip to neutralize Simone. Gives chase. Kanza try to work it ahead. Good step up by Lengyel. And Lengyel punches it further into the neutralized area. Take away Saguna. Saguna! So off the mask of Valsic. What a save. Remember that save. Catallo. Rink wide. Sorrell left it behind him. Azaridi. Simone sent it around right to Catallo. Catallo met by Saguna. Centering feed intercepted, but Simone unable to clear right into the equipment of Anthony Catallo. And now Sachem able to get it out. Tyler Anderson charges in, gets taken down. Stiuso hit the brakes, charges in. Leo Stiuso shot it wide. Sorrentino up for Carrasco Jr. Flipped out of the zone by Sachem. 6:40 to go. Third period. Banked on for Simone. And Simone enters the zone, they say offside. Here's another look at the Saguna takeaway and subsequent breakaway. And getting your head in the game, Jordan Valsic. Took it right off the noggin. Timeout has been called. Did not catch who it was that called it. Too busy looking at the monitor to call the replay. Friars trailing Sachem by 2. The last Sachem win against St. Anthony's came all the way back on October the 25th, 2023. Sachem looking to exercise some demons tonight. Friars looking to maintain their reign of dominance over the charcoal gold and red. Said it a number of times, but this was the semifinal matchup. Winner to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League Championship game. A back and forth, incredible barn burner of a contest. 6-5, the Friars in a shootout over Sachem. And this starting goaltending matchup, I believe, was the DiGirolamo for sure for Sachem. I'm unsure about Varsity, but he was ultimately in the final win against Smithtown Hauppauge to secure the Suffolk County Championship a season ago. Pena in the playoff atmosphere just starting. Centering ice, Simone! Shot blocked. Good recovery from Budicavoli and a long wrister from Lorette wide. Miklich up the far boards. Great play from Pena, fighting through stick checks. Saguna in support. Busa regroups for the Friars. In the near corner, Drago down low, past the stick of Saguna. He lays out Miklich. Despite not having the size. Carrasco Jr. That got the Sachem bench buzzing. Lorette to Drago. Back with Tyler Lorette. Up the near boards. Onto the stick of Stiuso. Calber looking to take it away from Leo Stiuso. He's pinned up against the boards and yeah, eat the puck. That's definitely going to be a strategy endorsed by the coaching staff of Sachem. Kansas steps through, going to work on Moody, who might be the best player on the ice for Sachem tonight. Trapani fighting off Kansas, checks 2-on-1 with Wanling. Trapani to Wanling. Wanling a shot, a save made by Valsic, and Valsic, oh my! This is not the WWE, folks. It's the Suffolk County High School Hockey League. Oh, that's the best word I could describe of what I just saw. Now, it is the golden rule in hockey, Gabe. You don't touch the goalie. Don't matter the level. Could be a pee-wee game, could be a game against 8-year-olds, could be a game in the NHL. You touch the goalie, bad things happen. It's not often you see the goalie, though, as the aggressor in that situation. We're getting a replay here, Gabe. Gabe. No comment. Well, the temperature in the arena is boiling over hot. It's an ice rink, and I'm sweating. And no, the heated vest is off. It's been dead this whole time. I was quite sad about it. Although it'd be put better to use on my toes, which I can't feel anymore. But enough about me. Let's get back to what's going on the ice. Now, obviously, Valsic, if he's called for a penalty, he cannot sit in the box. You guys know that. Someone would serve the penalty. It's 5-2. Sachem. A back and forth track meet in the first. They settle things down in the second. And Sachem opportunistic with their opportunities. Redundant, sure, but they did. Able to get two by Jordan Valsic, who, I mean, otherwise he's been great. DiGirolamo's been great. Both defenses good as well. Cam Calber, captain for Sachem, being informed of what the call here is. I've got nothing to look at on the live stats, which will eventually inform me of all the penalties to come out of that sequence. Gillen makes his way over to the box for Sachem. Already in the box for the Friars. Looks like that's Kanza. And I can't quite tell who's sitting next to him on the left. Gabe, you got your binoculars? Not sure if any of the fanfare is getting picked up on our camera mic. But allow me to translate. Sachem not happy. Sachem fans unhappy. They're unpleased. Displeased. Friars fans a bit more demure. What do we got? We've got Gillen out of the box for Sachem. No one's in the box for Sachem. Although a penalty, here it is. So roughing against Valsic, served by Miklic. So that's who's next to Kanza, who's off for cross-checking. That's it. Sachem to the power play. Still 4:38 left in the third period. Dare I say plenty of time for the Friars. God forbid they get one. They could easily add some more. And Catalo with the chance there. Short-handed. Saguna hounding Catalo back now with Calber. A drive save. Rebound score! Saguna might have been the last one to get the touch. He leads the handshake line to the bench. Sachem lead at 6-2. On the power play goal, Calber, another point in the contest. Yeah, it looks like it's Saguna who gets that touch past Valsic, who lays out, does everything he can. Jordan Valsic, who prior to this game, outstanding in the regular season, co-MVP in the All-Star game. His teammates in that All-Star game with Saunders on the other side of the ice tonight. Goals against average on the year for Valsic, excellent as well. But he's been bested 6 times, and now the refs might want to get this thing under control, as this feels like a powder keg ready to pop with this rivalry between these two sides. The crock pot on high on the stove, filled with water. It's boiling, ready to come over. Another big hit, this time on Nichols, fanning on the pass ahead. Oh, it's Miklic. Tartaglia going to work on Drago. And James Drago delicately flips it into the zone. Miklic. And this from producer Gabe. It is the first time this year that St. Anthony have allowed 5 goals or more in a game, or more than 5 goals in a game. Simone hands back to Lengyel. Miklic back into neutral ice. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. It seems that last Sachem goal took the wind out of the sails for St. Anthony, as Sachem riding that wave. Simone, Lengyel settles up. But overall, this game almost feels like an appetizer for what could come in the playoffs. If these two sides meet yet again. Face off near boards comes out to John Moody, and John Moody, said it before, I'll say it again, I thought he had one of the best games for any skater tonight for Sachem. Not on the score sheet, doing everything else that wouldn't come up on the score sheet. Simone, wrist shot, wide of Varsity. Simone, Trapani, and Saguna all on the board. That trio, the top scores for any three players in the JV division for Sachem a year ago. Mikulich around for Stiuso. Stiuso to Karaher. On goal to DiGirolamo. He keeps the puck moving. So we're down to just 1 minute and 3 seconds left in this third period. Game with playoff atmosphere. That ultimately, in terms of intensity, a bit of a limp to the finish. Friars, again, we're 12 games in a row without a loss. 11 of those wins and 1 tie. Their dominance needs no introduction. But with 18 seconds left in this 6-2 game, it's going to be Sachem who come away with the victory over their hated foes. As I again mentioned earlier in the broadcast, first win for Sachem against St. Anthony's in any game, regular season or playoff, in over 2 years. Back on October 25th, 2023, it's Sachem victorious over the St. Anthony's Friars in a statement victory, one they needed this year. They improve to 12-4 on the year. As for the Friars, they fall to 12-2-1. And again, their last loss coming all the way back on October the 8th. A 3-2 loss to East Islip. East Islip in action right now against Northport Huntington. That game 2-1 about midway through the second period. You could flip over and listen to that one if you'd like. Called by Kevin Broderick. But as for this game tonight, we'll wrap things up. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. On behalf of our producer, board operator, social media manager Gabe DeCurry, and cameraman for the evening, Johnny Malizia, Brian Brannigan saying so long. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, please have a good night.